Hello, Joy Olson here of Blockbuster Fundraising, and we're here in the final week of October and the beginning of November, and oh my goodness, year-end fundraising is staring us right in the face. I don't know whether you know this or not, but this year has an extra week between Thanksgiving and New Year's. So that means that the heart of fundraising season is a week longer than normal. Now that's pretty darn amazing, and I think that we really, all of us, want to take advantage of it. So how can we take advantage of this extra week? And the answer has to be donor communication. It gives you more time to reach out and communicate with your donors right now in 2017. So you got to appreciate it and take advantage of it. So here are a few thoughts on how you might take advantage of that extra week in this year-end fundraising plan that we find ourselves in the middle of. And if you can do that, you will deepen your relationship with your donors, and what's more wonderful than that? And when you deepen those relationships, you also are going to raise more money. So you've done a ton of work so far throughout this entire year, and now the final 8 weeks of the year is when all of that work comes to fruition, because these communications that are going out are really that important. Lots of nonprofits, 50% of their giving dollars, their donations, come in right now in year-end fundraising in December. So you definitely, number one advantage of this extra week is thank all of your donors for their previous giving. It's so important to thank them and tell them, not only thank them for their previous giving, but tell them the impact of that gift. You have got to do that, and you will definitely raise more money, because it makes a donor feel good to feel like they've actually done something with their money. It's really discouraging when you give somebody something and you feel like they don't really like it, or they didn't really need it, or they've forgotten all about it. You feel so much better if somebody says, oh, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and how much good I've got out of it. Well, same way with their nonprofit philanthropy. They want to do good. That's why you got the gift to begin with. So make them know how much good they've done and how much you appreciate it. And take that extra week for your major donors. Oh my goodness, get on that phone, thank them, and celebrate the results that you have accomplished together with their gifts. Celebrate their anniversary, how many years they've been giving to you. Just make it personal and get on the phone and have some fun with it. That's a good thing to do with that extra week. So now, with that extra week too, it's probably much more important to have 2 letters. I know that as a development director, I really did very much planned on a Thanksgiving letter, and then of course a year-end around December 20th letter. And used to be in the old days, when I was very first in fundraising, we would get these really wonderful consultants. I was with PBS in those days. That's where I really learned development. And we were so lucky because we were so well trained in, and PBS gave us so many great seminars, and we worked with people that were really experts. And the thought was, be the first piece of mail after the day after Thanksgiving. Well, that just doesn't hold up as well as it did 20-some years ago, because Thanksgiving has gotten so crazy, and you've got Black Friday, and you've got Cyber Monday, and now we've got Giving Tuesday. And I think that you really need to get your first letter in before the craziness of Thanksgiving. That would be my very best advice. You can't over communicate this time of year. You really can't. So you want to plan your Thanksgiving letter, and then your holiday appeal, and then of course you're thinking about your email appeals. Don't think that you're over communicating, because you are not. Your donors need to hear from you. They need to be reminded of the great things that you're doing together. They want to be inspired and motivated by your great stories, because your great stories are all about what you've accomplished this year. And after all, you couldn't have accomplished that without these wonderful donors. So let your donors know that you're there. Their mailbox and their inbox should be lots of information from you waiting for them, because other organizations are going to be communicating too. So you really need to break through the noise of all the nonprofits and get noticed. All right, stay creative, get noticed. All right, many people are talking about their holiday appeal or their Thanksgiving letter arriving on Friday, November 24th. And because of the long giving season, you want your letter in the homes either before Thanksgiving or shortly after. All right, and some of the experts say this first letter, this Thanksgiving letter, this letter of thankfulness, send this letter to all donors who have given a gift in the last 5 years. Now, you're going to have to make a decision on that, but that is a recommendation of some of the experts. I would say minimum at least the last 2 years. Second piece of advice from the experts: use first-class postage for your major donors. Nonprofit postage for everyone else. Think about that. If you've budgeted that in there, I think that's a really good idea. And for your nonprofit postage, remember NCOA. Be sure you do that, or your mail house does that before your mailing goes out. You want to make sure that you've got the correct addresses. All right, now let's talk about this extra week. What else can you do? How about designing your envelope? Make it real special this year. I think that I've spoken a couple of times about one of my very favorite envelopes that I've received, and it has the story. It starts the story right on the envelope. I love it. It says, Maggie's life is better because you cared. Isn't that perfect? So I'm intrigued right from the get-go. I can hardly wait to open that and find out what Maggie's doing, or what we did for Maggie. And another bit of advice for you right now from the experts. They say the donors are not going to read your letter word for word, but they will scan it. So be sure to ask them for a gift at least a couple of times. Strongly suggest 3 times. Don't wait till the last 3 paragraphs. Get that first ask up there in the beginning, along with your great image, your story, and make your ask around that appeal, that story, that image. All right, so your year-end appeal. Some of the experts say get that in the mail on December 11th. And suggestion here from the experts is to send this letter to all donors who have given a gift in the last 2 years. Again, you can think through this. Perhaps you've done your big letter, your Thanksgiving letter, and this you want to pull back to 1 year. Talk about it, think about it, brainstorm. And again, the suggestion is to use first-class postage for your major donors. Nonprofit postage for everyone else. Don't forget NCOA. Talk to your mail house about that. Your year-end letter has got this real sense of urgency because it's tax time and you want to highlight the deadline, that deadline in your letter. So you want to ask your donors what you want from them and tell them by midnight, December 31st. And the experts say that add that midnight in there. Don't just say by December 31st, that midnight for some reason makes a difference. All right, well, we've got a lot to think about this month as November starts. Wow, lots to do. But content right now in your appeal letter and your communication plan, like exactly what are you going to do, when is it going to be dropped, when are those emails going to go out. You want a consistent plan, the theme, and we'll get more into that later, but this today I think is just to remind you that you've got that extra week, so use that extra week creatively and communicate with those wonderful donors of yours. All right, Joy Olson, Blockbuster Fundraising, and joyolsongroup.com. That's where you can find more information, and we have hundreds of I think it's over 250 free fundraising videos, all tips for you, whether it's major gifts, whether it's year-end planning, whether it's contents, whether it's storytelling. It's all there on our YouTube channel for you, free. So take advantage of it. We're wishing you all the very best. Happy end of October, beginning of November. Hope you had a great Halloween, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.